Hey programmers, this week we're talking about the MA grid interpolation concept, or magic presets. This is a fun way to make presets, but it does rely on your knowledge of how grids work. So if you haven't already watched the groups and grids video, I'd recommend checking that out first. So what is grid interpolation? Well, it's the MA looking at data consisting of at least 2 points on a channel and then aligning values between those points as values that can be applied to a range of fixtures. There are a couple of magic presets examples built into the demo show. Let's look at this magic color preset. 2 colors have been saved here, red and green. But if I grab my spots and touch the preset, I get a range of colors starting at red and ending at green. If I edit this preset and take a look at the fixture sheet, I can see that a value of red was stored on spot 1 and a green on spot 2. But I was able to apply this preset to all 8 of my spots because the MA was interpolating the color data between red and green, and it aligned it over my fixture selection. To be more exact, it actually aligned it over the x-axis of my fixture selection. The G in Magic stands for grids, so it's helpful to leave that window open when you're creating a Magic preset, like we will now. Let's make a Magic preset for color using the Rush Pars. I'm going to select fixtures 11 and 12 and bring them to full. We need at least 2 points, so I need 2 fixtures. Then I'll put a mixed color on fixture 11, and a second mixed color on fixture 12. Next, I need to select both units because I need to specify that these will be magic points. So I'm opening the @ toolbar and clicking @magic. Now I can store this in my color pool, and let's label him as well. Okay, I know that this is a magic preset because it has this cute little wizard hat icon on it. I'm clearing out, grabbing all of my Rush Pars this time, bringing them to full, and hitting my new preset. Cool, I've got this nice gradient color over my selection. Now, could I have made this look using a line on my wheels? Yeah, sure. But the difference here is that this magic preset will dynamically change the look with each different fixture selection that I make. Like, maybe this time I'll just set it to my first 3 pars. And now I'm looking at this and thinking I want a symmetrical look. So I'm going to select fixtures 17 through 15, bring them to full, and apply the magic preset to them as well. It's all about fixture selection and how that selection shows up in its grid. This magic preset is more like a template. In fact, if we look at the values on these lights in our fixture sheet, you'll see that these values are hard values, not a preset reference. So, like a template, if I stored this in a queue now and then updated the magic preset, the queue would not be updated. Don't worry, I'm going to show you ways around this so that you can get an updatable reference to these in your queues, but I thought it was important that you see right away how this is currently working when you create a basic magic preset. Something else I want to make sure that you see is that these magic presets only work on other fixtures of the same type that you used when you created it. See how it has this selective S in the tile? This is correct, but also a bit confusing. Let me explain. A magic preset does need a selective fixture selection when making the preset. This one is selective to fixtures 11 and 12, but I can apply it to any Rush Par selection in my show, which makes it function a bit more like a global preset. So yes, from the standpoint of programming the console, it is absolutely a selective preset, but from the standpoint of my human brain, I'm always going to think of these magic presets as global templates. I want to create a second magic preset, but this time with more points, and I want to do this on the X and the Y axis. It's the same concept no matter which axis you use, and you can do up to 5 points on each one. I'm going to use 4 of the fixtures from my LED wall, 1 from each corner, and I'm still going to do this with color, but you can make a magic preset out of position, intensity, anything that you want to align. Okay, so I've got my 4 colors. I'm going to reselect all 4 of these fixtures, use @magic, store this, clear out, and then this is what we get when we apply it to the entire wall. In those examples, I was just using numeric values on my attributes. I didn't use existing presets as my magic points, but we can. Just don't forget to store the magic preset as an embedded preset so that when you update the presets you use to create it, the magic preset will update as well. Let's try one. I'm picking spot number 1 and spot number 2, bringing them to full so I can see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to put unit 1 in this color preset, and then unit 8 in this second color preset. I'm reselecting these so that I can hit Add Magic. Then I'm holding down Store. By the way, I really wish that Add Magic option showed up in the store pop-up in the preset section instead of at the toolbar, but hey, maybe it's just me. Anyway, I'm selecting Embedded so that I can get a reference to these 2 color presets, and I'm going to drop this in my color pool. I'm now going to select all my spots, bring them to full, apply this preset, and store it into a queue. I'm going to play back the queue and make sure my programmer is clear so now we know that this look is being controlled by playback. All good so far. Now I'm going to go in and edit one of the color presets that I used to make this magic preset. I'm going to change this blue color to a green. When I clear out, my queue and playback looks the same. It didn't get the update. But if I grab my lights and touch the magic preset, they do go to the updated colors because there's that embedded reference. So the magic preset gets updated, but the queue does not, which sucks. Here's the deal. Remember that the info in your magic preset is like a template. If I edit the magic preset, I can see in the fixture sheet the embedded references for these original 2 fixtures. But when I apply this to all 8 of my units and I watch the fixture sheet, I can see hard values. So when I store it to a queue, what I'm storing isn't a reference to the magic preset. That's why when we updated the presets embedded in our magic preset, the preset itself got updated, but the queue does not. Which is a huge bummer, but I wanted to make sure that you knew what was happening. Will this change in future versions? I don't know. For now, NA recommends that you use recipes so that you can get something referenceable in your queue. I know we haven't dug into recipes yet, so I'm going to give you the quick and dirty way to do this so that you can store your magic presets into a queue with an updatable reference, because that's the way I want to do it, and I bet you might too. We're going to use that same magic preset we just created and eventually store it into a new queue, but first we need to make a new preset with a recipe. I'm going to swipe beyond an empty preset, go into Edit Options, and right away, first thing I'm going to do is label it. In the recipe section, set the group that you'd like to use under the group column. And then in the preset column, I'm looking for the color pool and then that magic preset that we just created. Now I'm going to double tap this new preset with the recipe, give my lights an intensity, store this into a new queue in a new sequence, play it back, and clear my programmer. Looks good, but more importantly, let's look at how the data looks in the queue. Now I've got a real preset reference instead of hard values, which is obviously what we want. I'd recommend using this method whether your magic preset has embedded presets or not. If you update the magic preset or any preset that the magic preset references, this recipe will allow you to have an updatable reference in your queue. I know that our original magic preset referenced these other 2 color presets, so let's change this one back to being blue. And I can already see by the colors of my magic preset that it's updated, but when I clear out, look at my queue. Definitely not right, but easily fixed. If I go into the edit options of the recipe preset and click Cook, we're all good again. There's a lot more to recipes beyond why I had to use Cook, but for now, I wanted to cover the basics so that we'd all be able to start using magic presets more efficiently and without hard values. I promise we're going to get way more into recipes. In fact, that's the next video, so I'll see you then.